finish. Testing 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here to Eller Media Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomchek on the call. Sorry for the technical difficulties. For some reason, right when we started the broadcast, the audio just would not work. Kind of run the storyline here. Jenny Bressler started off the ball game for the Rebels, but Fresno State has hit her hard over the last 3 innings that she has faced the Bulldogs. Going back to the win yesterday, Jenny gave up a 3-run home run in the 6th inning, and then a 2-run home run in the 7th inning. And going in here today, Fresno State off to a really, really hot start. Matson and Hernandez with home runs. A 2-run home run for Matson. Hernandez with a solo shot. Galvin reached on base due to an error. And with that, Jenny Bressler has been removed. Jenna Perez is in the circle for UNLV. So Jenny, her final stat line, a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs. 2 of them were earned. She only faced 4 batters, and it's kind of deja vu for Bressler to her start last weekend against Colorado State, where she was dominant the first 2 games she played Colorado State, but going into the Sunday game, she only made it a third of an inning, giving up 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. So Fresno State came in yesterday, first in the Mountain West, but UNLV beating them twice. The Rebels are now leading the conference with only 1 series left for the Rebels. You've got 2 series left for the Bulldogs. So Fresno State, this is a must-win for them. UNLV, if they win here today, they are in the driver's seat for the Mountain West regular season championship. The count is 2-2 to Miranda Rollader. Going to set the lineup here for UNLV defensive lineup. We've got Maddie Schmidt in left. Tixon is in center. Martin is in right, as this one will be found back in the net. Lauren Barker's at third. Samantha Diaz is at short. Justine Federi is at second. Mia Trejo is at first. And Julia Vollmer is behind the plate. Bressler, who had come into the ballgame with a 2.23 ERA, that ERA will jump up here with the 2 runs that she has given up. And Jenny has now given up 4 home runs in the last 3 innings that she has faced Fresno State. And I don't know how much the win is going to have an impact on it. The 2 home runs that were hit today by the Bulldogs, by Keahi Matson and Vanessa Hernandez, they were long home runs. They got every piece of that pitch. So the count is 3-2. So I wouldn't say too much on the win. More to say it was power, as this one is high up into the air. Maddie Schmidt has it. She'll clamp it down, and that will end the inning. But the Bulldogs, they scored 3 runs. They chased Jenny Bressler out of the circle. UNLV will have to play the comeback kids yet again here in the 3rd game of this series against Fresno State. We go to the bottom of the 1st. Rebels up to bat for the first time here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Back here live at Eller Media Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomchek on the call. UNLV trailing this one 3-0. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in on your Sunday afternoon, wherever you're watching. Greatly appreciate you being patient, dealing with a little bit of audio issues as Fresno State got on the board early and they really hit UNLV hard. Let's see what UNLV can do to respond here as Hayley Galvin will be out in the circle, and for the senior, with a 1.10 ERA, 17-3 is her record, as she has had 133 innings pitched. Sorry for I left my computer on, just testing the audio, as this one will be sent up high. For Dulcini, 133 innings and a third pitch, 81 hits given up, 25 runs, 21 of them have been earned, 20 walks and 207 strikeouts. Opponents earning 169 against the senior, and she has been fantastic this year. You could say potentially, she is going to be the Mount West Pitcher of the Year, but she was hit hard against the Rebels yesterday. Dolcini went 4 innings of work. She gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. She was hit hard by the home run ball. Justine Federi, Denise Armendariz, and Lauren Barker hit home runs against her, as Schmidt will send this one foul and out of play. Maddie's had a really good series here against the Bulldogs. The sophomore, 342 average, 40 hits in 117 plate appearances, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 5 RBIs. She is 4 for 6 in this series and has scored 5 runs, including the game-winning run in the first game. As Schmidt will send this one back foul yet again, so the count is 1-2. But Maddie coming into this ball game had seen her average go down from the start of conference play at 400, was down to 324, now has gotten back up to 342 as she was held hitless in 4 of the last 5 games. But these 2 games against Fresno State, she is getting on the base paths and using her speed to her advantage and making Fresno State really sweat out there when she's on the base paths. As Dolcini looking for the strike out there, can't get it. 2-2 is the count. As we mentioned, Rob Huff is the home plate umpire. Bob Garcia is behind the first base bag. The lineup here for head coach Christy Fox, who is 115-50 in her 4th season at UNLV. The 2-2 from Hayley Dolcini. We'll get to the lineup there after this pitch. Is taken down low. The count now is 3-2. Maddie Schmidt obviously batting first. Justine Federi is batting second. Mia Trejo is batting third. Denise Armendariz batting fourth. Janisa Martin batting fifth. Lauren Tixon batting sixth. Samantha Diaz is batting seventh. Julia Vollmer is batting eighth. Lauren Barker is batting ninth. That is the lineup for UNLV. Same as before. Schmidt will send this one on a line. Unfortunately, a right atom ball at Madsen there in left field. 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. To round out the defensive lineup here for Fresno State, Jennings is in center. Noriega is in right. Broussard is at third. Denby is at short. Rolliter is at second. Hernandez is at first. And Preston is behind the plate, obviously with Hayley Dolcini being the starting pitcher for UNLV. Coming up to for Fresno State, coming up to bat here for UNLV will be Justine Federi, and the first pitch to Federi is taken for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Justine, 330 average, 29 hits in 88 plate appearances, 5 doubles, 8 home runs, and 27 RBIs. She had a really good day yesterday. Overall, in this series, she is 4 for 6. She was 3 for 4 in the first game, as that won't be taken high. 1-1 is the count. Federi had a home run in that game. And then in game number 2, Justine was 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. That was a 2-run home run in the bottom of the second inning. So she's been hitting the ball well. A big reason why UNLV is at the top of the conference, as that was an excuse me swing there. The count goes to 1-2. Really for UNLV, why they took that big jump after the non-conference slate was Justine Federi started playing back to her levels that we saw the last couple years. And for her to be at that 2-hole spot, and it's just been an absolute power bat right now. It has been big for the Rebels as Mia Trejo is on deck for UNLV. The 1-2 pitch. Justine sends a high drive in the left field. That ball is well hit. If it's fair, it's gone. That ball is gone. Justine Federi with a solo shot to left field. A no-doubt home run. Her 3rd home run of the series. The senior in her final game here at Eller Media Stadium puts UNLV on the board. It is now 3-1 Fresno State. Federi with her 9th home run and 28th RBI on the year. So we've seen now 3 home runs in the first inning of this ball game. Is now head coach Christy Fox talking it over with the home plate umpire here. I don't know what has transpired here. And now Andy Jarvis is clapping his hands. I think he's getting into it with one of the fans for Fresno State. So I don't know what is going on here. And I believe one of the fans is kind of mixing it up with the UNLV coaches, and now don't know what transpired. Obviously up in the press box, but that was the kind of the long pause there. So Mia Trejo will be up to bat, and looks like one of the administrators for UNLV is walking over to the direction of that fan. As the first pitch will be taken down low. So I don't know what transpired right there, but this is a hotly contested series here as Federi with the long home run to left field. It hit off the safety net. We've seen a couple balls go over the safety net. In fact, one knocked out a window in a truck, so you got to be careful where you park your car here this weekend. As the count is 1-1 to Mia Trejo, and the senior, my goodness, she has been absolutely red hot. She is 5 for 6 with 7 RBIs, including that game-winning hit yesterday in the first game. She had 6 RBIs in the second game. 1-1, swings and misses at that one. The count goes to 1-2. Trejo overall, 315 average, 28 hits and 89 plate appearances, 3 doubles, 6 home runs, and 26 RBIs. Trejo was 3 for 4 yesterday with those 6 RBIs, including a 2-run home run. As she sends this one up the middle, goes right through the legs of Dulcini, and UNLV back-to-back hits here in the bottom of the first inning, and the tying run will come to the plate here in the bottom of the first, and it will be Denise Armendariz, who's probably the hottest hitter in this UNLV lineup. The junior, 368 average, 35 hits and 95 plate appearances, 14 doubles. It is the most in this UNLV lineup and the most in the conference. 3 home runs overall, 25 RBIs. So far in this series, she is 4 for 7 and had a home run in the first game of this series. So UNLV trying to answer back after giving up 3 in the first. Jenna Perez now in the circle for UNLV, and now the first pitch will be taken down low for a ball, 1-0. So Hayley Dulcini has had a rough go of it here against UNLV, and really both pitchers. You did not expect, Jenny Bressler in 2 starts against the Bulldogs to give up 8 runs as Armendariz sends a mile-high pop-up. She got underneath that one. It had the height, but just does not have the distances. That will be caught there by Jennings for a big out number 2, as Janisa Martin will be up to bat for UNLV. Martin, the freshman, in the right field position today, defensively, is 0 for 4 in this series. The average now falling to 286. 28 hits and 98 plate appearances, 5 doubles, 4 home runs, and 24 RBIs. And for Martin, she is looking to get off the schneid here. She is 1 for her last 19. 2 outs in the inning, and both teams yesterday did a lot of damage with 2 outs. Dulcini is set. The first pitch on the inside part of the plate, missed it, and the count goes to 1-0. So Mia Trejo over at first after her 6th hit of the series, as Martin will send this one back foul. And you got to thank Mia Trejo for her performances so far. We still got the entire game here today, but what she did yesterday might win her Mount West Offensive Player of the Week. The way she was hitting the ball yesterday, she was a big reason why UNLV won both of those games and has won yet again another series in conference play. They haven't lost this series so far. As Dulcini, missed that one outside. 1-1 is the count. It's the first conference loss for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs were led by interim head coach Jody Cox. Linda Garza on a leave of absence. That's kind of been the big storyline for Fresno State, but the Bulldogs have been doing a really good job to avoid all that drama off the field and just focusing on everything on the field. They were undefeated with Jody Cox as interim head coach before yesterday's loss in the first game. So the count is 2-2 to Janisa Martin. After Justine Federi with a solo shot to left field, got UNLV on the board. Mia Trejo with a single. This one's going to go out, so it's going to hit Martin. So Martin is hit by a pitch there, and the way that ball ricocheted, Jody Cox coming out, she wants to know if that went off the bat of Martin, maybe the butt end of the bat. She will talk it over with Rob Huff, the home plate umpire, but if this call stands, we've got 2 on with 2 outs for Lauren Tixon. So UNLV 25-11, 17-3 in conference play. Now you add those 3 wins by way of the San Jose State forfeit series, which is now starting to really benefit UNLV. I mean, if the Rebels can win here today, they are in the driver's seat. Fresno State, they're going to have to find a way to win every game for the rest of the season, and they got some tough opponents. Boise State and San Diego State. It's not going to be an easy go of it. Boise State and San Diego State's hovering right now going into this weekend 4th and 5th, but San Diego State's got a really, really good offense, and Boise State historically a little bit of a down year for the Broncos, but still a very dangerous team. As we have a mound visit here, Dulcini trying to get out of this first inning. Gave up the home run, has given up a single, and has hit a batter. Lauren Tixon up to bat, the senior, 320 average, 33 hits and 103 plate appearances, 2 doubles and an RBI. So far in this series, she's 1 for 4. The one hit was a bunt single that probably went about 2 feet. And the first pitch here to Tixon will be taken on the outside for a ball. 1-0 is the count. Samantha Diaz is on deck here for the Rebels. Defense is in against the speedster. One of the super seniors that is honored this weekend. This is senior day for UNLV. As a throwback to second there by Preston. Alyssa Trejo was able to get back without any trouble. Now for Fresno State, they had some odd plays yesterday. They had two players thrown out at home. Hernandez was trying to catch UNLV sleeping on a throwback to the pitcher. She tried to score. She was thrown out. And then a pass ball runner trying to advance to third was thrown out. So Fresno State, they lost that game 6-5. They left two runners being thrown out on a play on some wacky plays. That's kind of for them is it's a big what if. As the count is 2-1 here to Lauren Tixon. Dolcini is set, and the pitch. Tixon will slap that one back foul, and the count goes to 2-2. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Fresno State leading it 3-1 if you're just joining us. Hayley Galvin got on the base paths by way of an error. Then Matson with a 2-run home run. Hernandez with a solo shot knocked Jenny Bresser out of the circle. UNLV threatening here. They scored a run off of a solo shot by Justine Federi. Tixon will slap this one back foul as it goes off the top of the fence there. Still 2-2. You got teams, for Fresno State leading the Mount West in 17 statistical categories. They came in first in team ERA, first in runs given up, first in strikeouts, first in doubles given up, second in home runs given up, second fewest home runs given up. So UNLV has done a really good job of creating a lot of havoc here. But they will strand two runners on the base pass as Tixon pops this one up over the left-hand side of the field. Denby has it, and that will end the inning. UNLV gets a run back by a solo home run by Justine Federi. Fresno State getting back to the batter's box. They scored 3 in the first. Let's see what they can do here in the top of the second. They lead it 3-1 here from Las Vegas, Nevada. Back here live at Eller Media Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomchek on the call here, and we greatly appreciate you guys tuning in on the YouTube channel provided to us by UNLV Athletics on your Sunday afternoon. It's a very beautiful day here in Las Vegas. Temperature-wise, no clouds. The only thing we could probably ask for is a little bit of less wind, except for the hitters. They probably want more wind, the way the balls have been jumping. So Jenna Perez back out for another inning of work. She will go up against Denby, Broussard, and Breston. That bottom part of the lineup has been kind of the area that for Fresno State that they would like to improve on. Denby coming into this ballgame 245, Broussard is at 185, and Preston is at .056. Denby is 0 for 2 on the series so far as Perez is set, and the 0-2 pitch is going to go off the glove of Julia Vollmer. So Perez kind of get her stat line so far this year. She has a 4.45 ERA. She's pitched 28 1/3 innings. Has 2 wins, 1 loss, and a save. She's given up 24 hits, 22 walks, 34 strikeouts in her freshman year. One of those pitchers that took over kind of that number 3 spot for UNLV. Kind of that one of the open spots for UNLV. They didn't have a lot of open spots with a good portion of the team returning back from last year. Count is 2-2. Perez wearing number 66, a freshman from Temecula, California. pitched in last Sunday's game against Colorado State, and she gets a swing and a miss there. Denby goes down on strikes. First out here in the top of the second inning. As coming up to bat here will be Skylar Brouchard. Brouchard, as we mentioned, a 183 average, 15 hits and 82 plate appearances, 2 doubles, 3 home runs, and 11 RBI. She is 1 for 4 on the series. As the first pitch, she will swing, being aggressive, and fouls it out of play. 0-1 is the count. So for Perez last weekend against Colorado State, she went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and had 2 strikeouts. Gave up a double, one of those extra base hits that she gave up, but she was given the loss. It was her first loss of the year, as that one will be taken for a strike. The count is 0-2. Perez, who has used a lot in non-conference play. Conference play, obviously, has seen those numbers go down, and you look at it with the way Jenny and Charlie Masterson have been pitching, you don't really need her at those points, as that one will be taken high 1-2, but she's been ready to go, and will try to keep this game within reach for UNLV as they trail it by two after the Justine Federi solo shot in the bottom of the first inning. Perez right now, the pitch count is at 20. Off-speed pitch, that's one of her dangerous pitches that she has and gets a lot of strikeouts, but missed it high. 2-2 is the count. UNLV, after the pop-up there by Lauren Tixon, they'll have the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up in the bottom of the second inning. It will be Diaz, Vollmer, and Barker. The pitch. This one is going to be sent into left field for a base hit, so Brouchard is able to get her second hit of the series. She's now 2 for 5 overall, and Alexandra Preston will be up to bat. She is 0 for 2 in this series. I mentioned for her, she just has 1 hit in 18 plate appearances, so she would like to get some momentum going here towards the end of this 2021 season. That is the third hit for Fresno State, their 4th base runner, the other one being by way of an error on Samantha Diaz, as the first pitch will be taken for a ball. 1-0 is the count. The schedule in the Mountain West on this first weekend of May. I can't believe it's already May here in the year of 2021, going about a lot quicker than 2020 did, as this one will be taken high. 2-0 is the count. Yesterday, San Jose State in 9 innings beat Utah State. Cal Baptist beat UNR 3-1. Boise State in 8 innings beat Colorado State 4-3. Obviously, you know UNLV winning 9-1 and 6-5 against Fresno State. As Perez, the 2-0 pitch is a check swing, and the ball is dropped. Vollmer did not throw it to second. Going over to second, Brouchard being very aggressive there, and the aggressiveness pays off as she is in the scoring position with 1 out, as it was a drop ball there by Vollmer, and the count goes to 3-0. To finish up the schedule in the Mount West this weekend, San Diego State beat New Mexico 3-0. San Jose State in the second game won 7-6 over Utah State, and San Diego State beat New Mexico yet again in the second game 11-4. This one will be taken high. It's a 4-pitch walk. At the bottom of the lineup there, Alexandra Preston in the 9-hole spot reaches on base via the walk. That is her 16th walk of the year, so you give her credit. You know, the average isn't where she wants to be, but she's finding a way to get on the base paths. I mean, my goodness, that's 16 walks. On-base percentage is at .471, so, you know, you can kind of say you got the glass half empty, half full. She's probably saying, hey, at least I'm finding a way to get on base there. So that is the first walk given up there by Perez. And we'll go back to the top of the lineup here, and the first pitch will be taken for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Caitlyn Jennings is up to bat. Jennings is 0 for 1. She swung at the first pitch against Jenny Bressler and sent it to left field on a line to Manny Schmidt. For Jennings coming into this ballgame, a .359 average, 42 hits and 117 plate appearances, 9 doubles, 5 triples, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs. Perez trying to get back into the groove here. Misses on that one. 1-1 is the count. For Jennings now in this series, she is 2 for 6. One of the best hitters in this lineup. Wearing number 3, a senior from Rancho Cucamonga, California, who only played 9 games in her first 2 years at Fresno State before coming an everyday starter over her last 3, as this one will be taken for a ball. 2-1 is the count. She has started every game this year for Fresno State, one of those everyday players that you just can't take out of the lineup. The 2-1 from Perez is going to be fouled back into the net. 2-2 is the count. So on Sunday, so far here today, we've had 1 final. Colorado State beating Boise State 5-1. You've got, actually, I believe Boise State and Colorado State are actually playing both games here today, so it's kind of weird they played just the one game yesterday. I don't know if there was any weather involved on that one. As the 2-2 pitch is sent up in the air, it is a lazy pop-up. Here comes Maddie Schmidt. Oh, we got a collision between Schmidt and Samantha Diaz. Diaz hangs on to it. Schmidt goes tumbling down. She lost her glove out there in left field, but she gets up and will walk it off. Scary play there. You got to be careful, to have that communication, but Schmidt and Diaz make contact. Diaz making the play as Schmidt was charging in with her speed. It's going to be hard for her to stop, but she's walking away, talking over Lauren Tixon. As head coach Christy Fox is out there on the grass asking if her sophomore left fielder is okay. She is. She'll head back to the dugout. But the second out there, big out there for UNLV. That ball pops out, potentially at bases loaded with 1 out. So Jennings is now 0 for 2, both flyouts into left field. One caught by Schmidt, the other one now caught by Diaz, as Galvin will be up to bat here. Galvin is 0 for 1, reached on an error in her first plate appearance. It bounced off the chest of Samantha Diaz. Fresno State leading it 3-1, 2 outs here. Runners on second and first. We've had a single and a walk. Jenna Perez in her second inning of work trying to put a 0 spot on the board. We'll send the first pitch for a ball. 1-0 is the count. Well, UNLV right now leading the standings. And those 3 wins by way of the forfeit in the series for San Jose State really helping UNLV right now as Galvin sends a mile-high pop-up foul out of play, and the count goes to 1-1. So right now, obviously, if you take those 3 losses, or those 3 wins for UNLV, both these teams would be tied. But now UNLV winning those 2 games yesterday, they have the tiebreaker. So that's why it's the big thing here for Fresno State. They got to at least get 1. If not, they're going to have to ask UNR to really play spoiler against their in-state rivals, UNLV. And obviously, that's not going to be an easy series for UNLV. But for UNLV, it's their last Mount West series of the year, while Fresno State has to play 2 more. And they got to play, obviously, Boise State and San Diego State. Count is 2-1 here in the top of the second inning. Perez is set. The pitch swung on and missed. This one's dropped by Vollmer. Second time she's had a ball get away from her in this innings, and the runners will advance to second and third here. So a base hit could potentially score 2 runs now for the Bulldogs, but Galvin missed that last pitch. The count is 2-2. 2 outs. Broussard over at third. Preston at second. Perez looking for the strikeout. The 2-2 pitch. She gets it on the outside part of the plate. Called strike 3 by home plate umpire Rob Huff. And that ends the inning as the Bulldogs threaten. But Jenna Perez is able to get out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the second. Fresno State leading it 3-1 here from Las Vegas, Nevada. We're in the bottom of the second here at Eller Media Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's been a fun series between the Bulldogs and UNLV. We had a heavyweight matchup in the first game, UNLV winning it 6-5. UNLV really showed their dominance in the second game, winning it 9-1, run ruling the Bulldogs. Kind of that was really the surprise is for UNLV, the offense just has been unbelievable against, statistically the best pitching staff in the conference. As Samantha Diaz will be up to bat, and the first pitch will be taken for a strike. 0-1 is the count. For Diaz, she is hitting at .242 on the year, 24 hits and 99 plate appearances, 3 doubles, 9 home runs, and 30 RBI. She's looking for her first hit of the series. She is 0 for 6. The bottom part of this lineup, trying to create some noise. Lauren Barker has had a really good series so far. She is batting third in this inning. Count is quickly 0-2 to Diaz, as Hayley Dulcini looking for a shutout inning here. She gave up that solo home run to Justine Federi, and Diaz on 3 pitches is retired as she swings and misses at that one. Dulcini gets the strikeout. Her first strikeout of the ball game, and overall 208 on the year. And the thing for Dulcini, the senior from Ferndale, California, you look at her numbers going into this weekend. Batting average first, ERA first in the Mount West, strikeouts first, wins first, earned runs second. Numerous stats that she has just been up at the top, and why, she's probably going to be Mount West Pitcher of the Year, as the first pitch to Julia Vollmer is taken down low for a ball. 1-0 is the count. Vollmer, the junior, batting .138 on the year, 4 hits, 29 plate appearances, 2 doubles, home run, and 3 RBI. She's been making some good contact, but Fresno State's been playing some good defense against her, robbing her of potential 2 hits, as the count now is 2-0. Dulcini, who played 1 year at UC Riverside. Back in 2019, she was the Mount West second team. And coming into the series, she was red hot. She hadn't given up a run in 27 straight innings. Fresno State, coming into the series, also had 6 straight shutout wins. They had a 13-game winning streak. And that's another thing. You just got to really tip the cap to UNLV's offense. This was a team in Fresno State had a lot of momentum coming into this heavyweight matchup, as that one is fouled back 2-2. And UNLV has not been afraid. They have taken the challenge, and they have really given it to this Fresno State pitching staff, including Dulcini, who's now given up 6 earned runs in her 2 starts right now against the Rebels, as this one will be taken high. Now the count is 3-2. 3-1 is the score. All runs have been by way of the long ball. The home run derby still continues here on this Sunday afternoon in Sin City, as Vollmer swings and misses at that one, strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts there for Dulcini, and she's starting to kind of settle into her rhythm there after UNLV got a lot of traffic on the base pass in the first. But she'll have to go up against Lauren Barker, and Barker took her deep yesterday. The third baseman for UNLV's got the average now up to an even 200, 14 hits and 70 plate appearances, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and 5 RBIs. As I mentioned, she is 3 for 5 in this series. Probably one of her best hitting series in Mount West play. She'll try to keep that up here as the first pitch misses on the inside. 1-0 is the count. If Barker can keep this inning alive, Maddie Schmidt will be due up next for UNLV. For the Bulldogs of Fresno State, they'll have the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up: Madsen, Hernandez, and Noriega. Barker gets underneath that one and fouls it back into the net. The count goes to 1-1. The Rebels and the Bulldogs here, the 2 top teams in the Mount West, and by far it's a clear run for those top 2 spots. Coming into this weekend, the next closest was UNR at 11-7. UNLV will be playing the Wolfpack next weekend. But looking at the standings right now, it's really a 2-horse race. As the 2-1 pitch, Barker will send this one back foul yet again. 2-2 is the count. And me and Ben Wilson, who were on the broadcast yesterday, were talking about it. Does the Mount West, are they going to be able to get 2 teams in the NCAA tournament? And it's going to be tough. And I think for UNLV, the non-conference slate wasn't where they wanted it to be. The RPI coming in to this weekend was at 72. As Barker sends a high pop-up into shallow left field. Coming on in is a diving attempt. And is it caught? No! Barker is still running. She's going to go to third. And it's a 2-out triple on a ball that went maybe halfway into the infield. Madsen with a diving attempt. She traveled a long way. It looked like she went back first and then just kept coming in and in. The wind is blowing in. I don't know if that had an effect on the ball. Madsen diving attempt, what a great effort, A-plus effort, but the ball just squirted out, and I don't know if she was kind of shaken up when she hit the ground. She hit it pretty hard. Barker just kept running, and she heads to third as Jody Cox is out to talk with home plate umpire Rob Huff, the second time that she's kind of disputed a call, but she will not win this argument. So Matson, I mean, A-plus effort. She was so close for making it Sports Center top 10 worthy play. Dulcini was almost, if there was no win, that would have been an easy pop-up, but I believe the wind played some nasty tricks on that ball, and Maddie Schmidt will be up to bat here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Schmidt is 0 for 1. If she can get a base hit here, could potentially get UNLV within 1. Obviously, Dulcini would like to see an out here. She does not want to face Justine Federi in this inning with runners on the base paths the way Federi has been hitting the ball this weekend. As Schmidt gets underneath this one, he'll foul it back. The count now is 0-2. 2 outs here. Barker over at third as she gets the triple. And for Barker, that was her first triple of the year. So she now is 4 for 6 in this series. Probably the shortest hit triple I've ever seen here at Eller Media Stadium. As the count is 0-2, and Schmidt gets underneath this one. It's high up into the air into center field. Who wants it? Calling off the second baseman, Jennings. Calls off Rollader. She clamps it down for out number 3. UNLV gets a 2-out triple, but nothing across the board. We go to the top of the third here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Fresno State on top 3-1. Keahi Matson will lead it off here for the Bulldogs in the top of the third inning, and hopefully Matson is okay after that diving attempt on the Lauren Barker pop-up. She had to travel a long way and hit the ground hard. She'll lay it down a bunt attempt. Perez has it. The throw to first, and it's not in time. I think that caught Justine Federi off guard there on the bunt attempt. She was a little bit late covering first, so Matson will get a bunt single. So she's had a long home run and a bunt single that went about, actually she got good contact on it. We'll give her about 10 feet on it. So a variety of ways. She's now just a double and a triple away from the cycle. As now Vanessa Hernandez will be up to bat. Hernandez is 1 for 1 with the solo home run that knocked Jenny Bressler out of the game back in the top of the first inning. 3-1 is the score. That is the 4th hit of the day for the Bulldogs. And for Matson, that home run that she hit earlier, it was her 11th home run, RBI number 35 and 36. And she is climbing up the ranks near the top of the home run leaderboard. She came in this weekend tied for second. She had her RBI. She was already first in conference play. So the freshman, how about a freshman year? That's something for Fresno State where they can smile and say, we got 3 more years of that. That is going to be big, kind of a big person to kind of build around with a lot of seniors on this roster. Or with some seniors. For Fresno, you got to determine who's the super senior and who's not a super senior, with everyone getting an extra year of eligibility. As the count is 2-0, Perez is set, and that one hits on the inside part of the plate. 2-1 is the count here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It is a beautiful day here. The wind, though, is making it a little bit of a problem for both teams, for the pitching staffs. For the hitters, they say, so be it. We like the wind. Perez is set, and the 2-1 is going to be taken high. 3-1 is the count. Could potentially see Charlie Masterson in this game as well. Masterson yesterday went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Faced 22 batters, but she only threw 81 pitches compared to Bressler yesterday in the first game. She threw 143 as Perez loses that one there. So we've had a bunt single and a walk, 2 on here with nobody out in the top of the 3rd inning. Fresno State trying to add to this 3-1 lead against UNLV. As now coming up to bat here will be Adriana Noriega. Noriega is 0 for 1 on the day in the right field position for the Bulldogs. UNLV, they will have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up. The heart of their lineup that has created a lot of trouble for Fresno State. As a bunt attempt being shown, and did she go around? Waiting for the call. The unplayed umpire didn't really give me a definite call. They're going to say it was a ball. 1-0 is the count. So Matson at second, Hernandez at first. Noriega, if she can lay down a bunt, obviously you put pressure on the freshman Perez with runners at second and third with 1 out. The 1-0 pitch is going to get by Vollmer. It bounces off the backstop here, so no worries about the bunt. Now the pressure intensifies for Perez as the count now is 2-0 with runners at second and third and nobody out. Matson advances over to third. Hernandez advances over to second. And now head coach Christy Fox will come out here and talk it over with the home plate umpire Rob Huff. We might have a pitching change. And there I see Charlie Masterson coming out of the circle. So UNLV, Jenna Perez is able to stop the fire after that 3-run first, but is in a little bit of trouble here in the 3rd. She'll go an inning and a 2/3, gave up 2 hits, no runs so far. She's on the hook for runners at second and third. Charlie Masterson is in the circle for UNLV. We'll be right back here at Eller Media Stadium. So Charlie Masterson is in the circle for UNLV as Jenna Perez did a really good job of kind of quieting down Fresno State in the first and second inning, but the 3rd inning we've got a lot of trouble here. Masterson, kind of that pitch-to-contact pitcher for UNLV, the super senior. First pitch will be sent to second. Federi has it, only has 1 play. The throw to first will be in time. A run does score, and Fresno State now leads it 4-1 here in the top of the 3rd inning. So it was a 2-0 count that Masterson had inherited coming out of the pen, as Noriega will get the ground out RBI, her 28th RBI on the year. 1 out here as the runner advances over to third. That is Hernandez. So 4-1 is the score. As coming up to bat here will be Miranda Rolliter. Rolliter, the lefty, second baseman. She is 0 for 1 on the day. So Masterson, I mentioned yesterday, she didn't really throw. Obviously only threw 5 innings and only had 81 pitches, so she has some left in the tank for this Sunday game, and I got to suspect that she will have an opportunity to go the distance here and try to keep this as minimum of a deficit as she can for the Rebels. If she can strand that runner at third, that will be big for UNLV. Fresno State wants to get that runner home. They want to build as big of a lead as they can, as this one will be taken high. 1-1 is the count as Hayley Dulcini, after giving up that solo shot in the first, though, you can also say she's starting to kind of get back in her rhythm that we've seen from her throughout this 2021 season. Scoreless inning in the second and third, and just that hit that she gave up in the third was kind of on a weird, wacky play. The 2-0 pitch is going to be sent over the head of Mia Trejo into right field for a base hit. Hernandez will score. Roller with an RBI single, her 23rd RBI on the year, and the score now is 5-1 here in the top of the third inning. So Perez will be credited with those 2 runs. Her final line score for her, an inning and 2/3. Had 42 pitches, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Masterson is set here, and the first pitch is popped up into the air. Mia Trejo in a little bit of trouble, had to move around Roller, who was standing on the bag as Denby popped it up. She clamps it down for out number 2. That's where you're going to see a lot of Masterson. She does not get a lot of strikeouts, does not give up a lot of walks either. Gets a lot of soft contact, flyouts, groundouts. She really, trusts her defense and getting those easy plays. And, the defense backs her up. One of the best defensive teams in the Mountain West, just 20 errors on the year for UNLV. Masterson, first pitch, popped up in the air. This one will go out of play, and the count will go to 0-1 to Skylar Bouchard. For Masterson, her season, 6-3 with the save. She's gone 71 2/3 innings. She's given up 30 runs. 23 of them have been earned. A 2.25 ERA, 77 hits, 12 walks to 40 strikeouts. She's given up 12 doubles, 7 home runs. As this one will be taken for a strike. 0-2 is the count. Masterson, obviously with Jenny Bressler, being the top pitcher for UNLV, Masterson, I don't think gets a lot of credit. Obviously she's normally going to be having 1 start and maybe 1 relief appearance if things kind of go a little haywire for UNLV. But she's been pitching very well in conference play, and another reason why you look at it and say why UNLV is at the top of the conference, because the top 2 pitchers have been just phenomenal, and that's why you can say for Fresno State as well. This is going to be sent up the middle. Federi has it. The flip over to second. The force out is in time. Bob Garcia calls out Roller. Going to second. It was a very close play, but a heads-up play by Justine Federi as she flips it over to Samantha Diaz as we go to the bottom of the third inning. 5-1, Fresno State on top of UNLV after they scored 2 runs in that inning. Can the Rebels get their bats going? We'll find out next here on the Mountain West Network on Stadium. Bottom of the third here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomczyk on the call. Thank you for joining us on your Sunday afternoon, wherever you're watching here on the YouTube channel, provided to us by the UNLV Athletics. Justine Federi will be up to bat as she will face Hayley Dulcini for the second time. And Dulcini would like a little bit of better fortunes against Federi as she sent a home run over the left field wall. It hit the safety net. It was a long home run for Federi, but the only run for the Rebels as they now trail at 5-1 after 2 runs were scored in the top of the third inning. Fresno State playing small ball to get runners on the base paths. Used a wild pitch to advance them into scoring position. You had a bunt, you had a walk, obviously that pass ball, and then a ground out and a single to right field. Find a way. You just got to, obviously the big thing, you got to put runners on the base paths, and you never know what the damage can happen. And Fresno State now leads at 5-1 as Federi takes that off-speed pitch down low, and the count goes to 2-1. It is Federi, Trejo, and Armendariz, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for UNLV. Rebels have 3 hits. Bulldogs have 5. This one taken down low. 3-1 is the count. And UNLV, I mean, you look at the stat sheet for the Rebels. They've really roughed up every pitcher that Fresno State has thrown out in the circle this weekend. 3-1. And that will be inside ball 4. So that'll be the first walk given up there by Dolcini. Just her 21st walk that she's given up in 136 innings of work. So, I mean, it's a rare thing. It's almost... I'm trying to look at her stat sheet here. I mean, 21 walks in 136 innings. Trying to think what's rare. I mean, she's given up now 22 runs. So that's, I mean, a lot of those numbers, man, my goodness, it's just so impressive to talk about. I mean, that's why, in my opinion, why she'll probably be Mount West Pitcher of the Year, as this one will be taken for a strike on the inside. 0-1 is the count to Mia Trejo, who is 1-for-1, a single up the middle in her first plate appearance. But for UNLV, obviously, against Dolcini yesterday, they got 5 runs off her. Against Orm in her 2 appearances in both games, she gave up 4 runs. There's the 0-1. Trejo goes opposite field. It is in play. Can anyone get there? No. Fresno State, you have the first baseman, second baseman, and right fielder Noriega, Roller, and Hernandez going after it. But Mia Trejo now in an 0-2 hole. And also Danielle Lung for Fresno State to kind of go back. She gave up 6 runs yesterday. So, I mean, UNLV, really getting the confidence going with the bats. And you want to see that as they go for their final weekend against UNR, because if they keep that momentum going, as this one will be sent to third. The throw to first will be in time as Federi is able to advance to second, as Broussard did not want to try to chance it there with the throw to second, go for the surefire out at first as she flips it over to Hernandez. So Trejo does move the runner into scoring position for Denise Armendariz as UNLV trailing this one 5-1. But for UNLV, you want to have those bats as confident as they are going into that series, because if they sweep UNLV, I think, trying to look at the numbers here, but, the odds are pretty high that they are going to be Mount West regular season champions. As the first pitch will miss on the outside part of the plate. 1-0 is the count. Armendariz on the day is 0-for-1. Janisa Martin is on deck. Martin was hit by a pitch in her first plate appearance. The 1-0, Armendariz will take that one for a strike. 1-1 is the count. Denise has hit a home run in this series. Armendariz, 4th in the Mountain West in batting average and 5th in on-base percentage coming into this weekend. She had a 9-game hitting streak before going hitless in the last 2 games against Colorado State. She was 2 for 10 in that series. Has obviously picked it up this weekend, as this one will be fouled right off the pole. Count goes now to 1-2 with Federi at second with the leadoff walk. Dolcini trying to put up another 0 spot on the board. She got one in the second, trying to get one here in the third. Gave up that 1 run in the first. The 1-2 misses high and outside. 2-2 is the count. This is a series history between UNLV and Fresno State that's been dominated by the Bulldogs. The record now, Fresno State leads it 57-21. Although UNLV's winning a lot of games as of lately, as this one's going to be sent to short. The throw to first will be in time, as Federi kind of had to hop out of the way there to make sure that she didn't get hit by the ball, as the shortstop Denby throws it to Hernandez at first. 6-3 on the score sheet, as Armendariz does move Federi over to second, but you got 2 outs in the inning here, as Janisa Martin will be up to bat for the Rebels, and we'll have a mound visit here as Jody Cox will come out and talk to her ace, Hayley Dolcini. And I mentioned for the series history, for Fresno State, this is a Fresno State program that has been historically just unbelievable. They have made a lot of NCAA regionals. They've made a lot of softball championships, a World Series. So they are a historically rich program, in the softball community, and trying to get back to the postseason for the first time since 2017. They've made 34 trips to the NCAA regionals, and also back in 2019, They recorded a 30-win season for the 38th consecutive year. Unfortunately, last year they were robbed of another consecutive year with the COVID cancellation. They were 21-4, so they were well on their way to doing that yet again, as that one will be taken on the outside for a ball. 1-0 is the count to Jasmine Martin, who, as I mentioned, was hit by a pitch in her first plate appearance. So Bulldog team that was projected to finish first in the Mountain West, the first time they had that honor since 2017, as that one is called on the inside for a strike. 1-1 is the count. Last time these two teams faced back in 2019, UNLV lost 2 out of 3 to the Bulldogs. But back in 2018, UNLV got the first sweep ever against Fresno State at their Fresno State's place. That was in Christy Fox's first year. It was kind of the marquee wins for UNLV that year. 33-20 were the Rebels back in 2018, 13-11. You look at it in 2019, they were 36-14, 14-9 in conference play. Last year they were 21-5 before the COVID shutdown. And this year, right now, 23-11. 17-3 in conference play. So that, you've seen the progression go higher and higher for UNLV, and really this is the best conference year that they have had under head coach Christy Fox. As the count is 3-1 here, Dulcini in danger of walking Martin. It will bring up the speedster Tixon if that does happen. The 3-1. It'll be taken down low, ball 4. So Martin has reached base twice, one by hit by a pitch, one by a walk, and Lauren Tixon will be up to bat. Tixon is 0 for 1. She popped up in her last plate appearance, left 2 runners on the base paths. Score right now 5-1. Right now, big at bat for UNLV. They want to at least get 1 run back here when they get this. When you get the opportunity against such a great pitcher like Dulcini. Even though you've had the success, you don't want to play with fire. As if Dulcini really starts to kind of get her mojo going, her rhythm going, it's tough to stop her. As Tixon fouls this one off the pole, and the count goes to 0-1. Lauren, who was usually in the number 2 hole spot for a good portion of her career here at UNLV and for a good portion of this 2021 season, head coach Christy Fox decided to kind of move her down to the 6th spot, not necessarily because Tixon was not hitting well. It was just trying to provide a spark to the bottom part of the lineup. And Tixon has done a really good job of that, as the average coming into this ball game was at 320. And just put runners on the base paths, create a lot of havoc at the bottom of the lineup to maybe get some decent pitches to hit for the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Because when Tixon and Schmidt get on the base paths, it's a whole nother ball game for UNLV, just like when Caitlyn Jennings gets on the base paths for the Bulldogs. As Tixon will send a little blooper in the left field, but it's going to be on a line. Easy play there for Madsen. She clamps it down for out number 3. UNLV gets 2 runners on, but nothing across the board. We go to the top of the 4th. Fresno State leading UNLV 5-1. Back here live at Eller Media Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Alexander Preston will be up to bat for the Bulldogs as we are in the top of the 4th. Fresno State, they scored 3 in the first and then 2 in the 3rd. We saw a lot of home runs in that first inning. We saw 3. UNLV had 1. Fresno State had 2. Since the ball is really staying in the ballpark here as the wind has died down a little bit. You'll have your spurts there, but nothing as consistent as we saw it at the start of the game. Charlie Masterson back out for another inning of work, and you got to suspect that she is going to have an opportunity to finish this ball game off, as this one is popped up into the air over the left-hand side of the field. Who wants it? Lauren Barker calls off Samantha Diaz. She'll clamp it down for out number 1. I've already seen a collision. Diaz and Maddie Schmidt ran into each other in the shallow left center field. Schmidt was charging in, trying to make a highlight play, but Diaz had gotten there before her, and Schmidt just could not stop and ran into Samantha, but everybody was okay. And there's one out in the inning as Preston fouls out. She is now 0 for 1. Back to the top of the lineup with Caitlyn Jennings, who has flied out in both of her plate appearances. First pitch to Jennings, and that one, I believe, hit her bat. And now here comes Jody Cox, I believe, now for the 3rd time. Now she's going to argue back in the first inning, Jasmine Martin had a similar play, and with the ball ricocheted, she said it kind of went off the bat. That one looked like it had the same ricochet as Martin, but the home plate umpire, Rob Huff, is going to say, nope, it hit the end of the bat from where I am looking at, and that is going to be a strike. Foul ball, 0-1 is the count. So kind of an unfortunate play there for Jennings, and you know, for Fresno State, they want to get Jennings on the base pass. I mentioned with Maddie Schmidt and Lauren Tixon how they create such havoc when they are on first or second or third. As this one's going to be sent in the hole. Justine Federi, bobble the throw to first, not in time. It took a wicked hop deep in the hole there at second for Federi, and just right on cue, when you got great speed like Jennings, one momentary bobble, one misstep, and she's going to be easily safe. Jennings is safe at first there. Could potentially be the second error of the ball game there for UNLV. It is. So UNLV came into the ball game with 19 total errors on the year. Now 2 errors so far, one by Samantha Diaz at short, the other one by Justine Federi, as Galvin will be up to bat, as Jennings thought about going, but she'll head back over to first as a swing and a miss there. 0-1 is the count. Now Vollmer has thrown out Jennings in this series. She did it yesterday in the second game. And that's why Jennings is 30 out of 35 on stolen base opportunities. It was a nice play by Vollmer. We'll see if Jennings will go here. She's in motion, does not, and the pitch misses on the outside. 1-1 is the count. So 2 errors for the Rebels. The last time they gave up an error, the next hitter, it was Matson, hit a 2-run home run. It was Galvin, who's up to bat right now, that reached on an error there in the first. She is overall 0 for 2 with that run scored on that home run, as she sends a high drive into center field, but it's going to be in shallow center field. Tixon comes in, makes the easy routine play for out number 2 here in the top of the 4th inning. So Matson now up to bat. Keahi Matson, 2 for 2. She hit a 2-run home run in her first plate appearance and then got a bunt single. The differences in the distance of her base hits is quite big here, as the first pitch is taken down low. The throw to second on the steal attempt, not in time. Jennings is able to get her 31st stolen base on the year in 36 tries. Vollmer, I think, was just a little bit hesitant on that throw. I don't know if she couldn't get the ball out, but it was a little bit of a later throw than I think she would have liked. It was a close play. I think if it's a bang-bang throw there, catch and throw, Vollmer might have a good chance there to get Jennings out, but now runner in scoring position as the off-speed pitch there. Good pitch by Masterson. Gets the swing and a miss. 1-1 is the count. So Matson, the freshman, wearing number 1 from Atlanta, California, 5'5". At the start of conference play, her average was at 227. Now coming into this ball game, 359, and she's already 2 for 2, so that's going up. That's another player. I think it's been, you know, you talk about for UNLV, their kind of pleasant surprise was Jasmine Martin as a freshman taking over that spot in right field. You can say for Fresno State, it is Matson who is out in left field, the way she has played in conference play, as that one will be taken high for a ball. Now the count will go to 3-1. 2 outs here with a runner on second here in the top of the 4th inning. UNLV trailing this one 5-1. The Rebels won the series yesterday, winning both games 6-5. Game-winning hit by Mia Trejo in the bottom of the 7th inning, and then run ruled the Bulldogs as this one will be sent too short. Diaz, this will be a tough play. The throw to first is in time. Nice play there by Samantha Diaz, who had to go to her right, pick the ball up quickly, and is able to fire the ball, showing off her great arm, and that will end the inning as the Bulldogs get a runner in a scoring position, but nothing across the board. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Rebels trailing this one 5-1 here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Bottom of the fourth inning here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomchek on the call. Thank you for joining us here on your Sunday afternoon, wherever you're watching here on the YouTube channel provided to us by UNLV Athletics. The Rebels haven't scored since the first inning. They will have the bottom part of their lineup. Samantha Diaz, Julia Vollmer, and Lauren Barker due up 7, 8, and 9. They were 1 for 3 combined. Barker had a triple on a weird play, weird pop-up in the shallow left field that Madsen made a diving attempt, but it popped out of her glove as Diaz swings and misses at that one. 0-1 is the count. Diaz and Vollmer both struck out. That is the only 2 strikeouts for Dulcini so far here as we are in the bottom of the fourth inning. UNLV has gotten runners on the base paths. Real big threat in the first, second, third, but just haven't only been able to get one as Dulcini's starting to really pick up her rhythm again here for Fresno State. As her pitch count right now is at 69. 1-1 is the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. This one will be taken down low. 2-1 is the count. Diaz still looking for her first hit in the series. 0 for 7 overall. Samantha has won Mountain West Player of the Week twice this year. The first weekend of the 2021 season, she was absolutely red hot. And then against Utah State, she was sending long balls left and right. As this one will be taken on the inside for a strike. 2-2 is the count. Dulcini looking for her third strikeout here. UNLV trying to get the leadoff batter on the base paths here, and that one will be taken high. 3-2 is the count. So we've had 2 walks, and we had 2 walks in the last inning. Dulcini came in with 20 walks on the year, now up to 22 with those 2 walks. So it was a very rare inning to see the free pass. Diaz swings and misses at that one. She was trying to just find a way to make contact. That was a power swing. She was trying to actually get that one over the wall, but Dulcini wins that one. Power versus power, and the senior for Fresno State gets her 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Julia Vollmer is supposed to be due up, but Christy Fox for UNLV, talking it over with Rob Huff, will have a pitch hitter here for the Rebels, as it looks like it's going to be Alyssa Trejo. Trejo, surprised I haven't seen her so far in this series behind the plate. It's been exclusively Julia Vollmer so far, as Trejo up to bat here. She is 0 for 1 in the series. She went 0 for 1 in the first game, did not play in the second game against Fresno State. So Trejo will try to get some one-out magic here. 3 hits for the Rebels. 1 by Justine Federi, 1 by Mia Trejo, the older sister of Alyssa, and 1 by Lauren Barker. So Alyssa up to bat here, and the first pitch is swung on a miss for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Lauren Barker, as we mentioned, on deck. We've had a single, a home run, and a triple for the Rebels. Trejo, who is really known as a doubles hitter for UNLV, could get them that one there. She goes opposite field. You'll see a lot of opposite field hits there for Trejo, as that count goes to 0-2. Kind of almost you could see the rare shift where you shift the opposite field, opposite hand of the hitter. And as I say, at some point, this ball is going to go into right center field for some reason, or the right-hand side of the field. The 0-2 pitch, and did she go around? She did not. Is able to hold it back. That one misses on the outside. 1-2 is the count. So Charlie Masterson so far has kind of put out that fire for UNLV just after that 3rd inning. We'll see, though. We thought Jenna Perez was kind of slowing down the Fresno State offense before they picked it up in the 3rd. So far for Masterson, 2 innings, 1 hit. And zeros across the board for the super senior from Boulder City, Nevada, as Trejo fouls that one out of play. Still 1-2 here, 1 out after the Diaz strikeout. The 1-2 pitch by Dulcini. Trejo, did she go around? She did. Home plate umpire Rob Huff says yes. And that is back-to-back strikeouts there for Dulcini. And she's had all 4 strikeouts with the batters who are scheduled in the 7 and 8 spot. Obviously, Diaz twice, Vollmer once, and Trejo once. So Lauren Barker will be up to bat. Barker got a triple, her first of the year in her last plate appearance. I mentioned it was kind of a weird play. The wind was really blowing in. The ball went high up in the air. Madsen, who was playing deep, obviously, playing a little bit deeper now with the way the ball had been jumping off the bat, but the wind kind of took the ball back. Madsen tried to go charging in to make a diving attempt. She got it into her glove, but it popped out, and she was a little bit slow to kind of the reaction with the ball getting knocked out. Barker just kept running, and she was able to advance to third, but was stranded in that last plate appearance. Barker with kind of an excuse me swing sends that one foul, and the count goes now to 0 and 2. Oh, they had 0 and 1 on the count, but then they put a ball up. I'm sorry, 1 and 1. And the pitch here, Barker sends a high drive into left field. This one, though, will be him play an easier play there for Madsen. She'll clamp that one down for out number 3. So for the first time in this ball game, Hayley Dulcini is able to get a 1-2-3 inning. The Bulldogs are in control of this one here as we go to the top of the 5th. They lead it 5-1. Vanessa Hernandez will be up to bat here in the top of the 5th inning. Bulldogs leading it 5-1 over the Rebels as they've scored 3 in the first and 2 in the third. Haven't had any luck so far against Charlie Masterson, the third pitcher used by UNLV. As the first pitch will be taken for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Hernandez, her stat line so far, she is 1 for 1 with an RBI hit. That was a home run in the first inning that knocked Jenny Bressler out of the ballgame. She actually went opposite field on that home run and also walked in her last plate appearance. Count is 1-1. Masterson against Hernandez. Masterson only gave up 1 run yesterday in the 5 innings that she pitched. This one will be sent to Lauren Barker. She charges in the throw to first in time, 5-3 on the score sheet for out number 1 here in the top of the 5th inning. Now up to bat will be Adriana Noriega. Noriega is 0 for 2, but had an RBI groundout in her last plate appearance. That was when Charlie Masterson, first batter that Masterson had faced, and actually had to face her with a 2-0 count. Perez had thrown 2 straight balls, and head coach Christy Fox for UNLV decided to make the switch, and Noriega did her job, got the runner home, and then Masterson, her only hit given up, allowed the second run of the inning to come in, but obviously she inherited those runners, wasn't credited her with the runs. As the count is 0-1, as actually we have a change here for UNLV. Alyssa Trejo is now behind the plate here for the Rebels, replacing Julia Vollmer, as she had had to shake something out of her glove as time was called, as this one will hit on the inside part of the plate. The count goes to 0-2. Charlie gets the sign. And the pitch. And I thought she was going to get the inside call there, the home plate umpire. He popped up like he was ready to kind of give the business on a strikeout call, but he says it's a ball, Rob Huff. 1-2 is the count, 1 out here. Masterson looking for her first strikeout of the ball game. UNLV has struck out 4 times. Fresno State has struck out 2. That one fouled back. And still 1-2 is the count, 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. UNLV will have the top of the lineup that has created a lot of damage so far this weekend. Schmidt, Federi, and Trejo due up, and they got to get something going here as we are now in the back half of this ball game. and you're running out of outs here as UNLV is trying to get the sweep. They get the sweep. It puts a lot of pressure on Fresno State. This one, though, is going to be called for a strike three as it's the top part of the zone. 2 outs there as Masterson picks up her first strikeout of the ball game. Noriega strikes out for the first time, and that will bring up Miranda Rollader. Rollader is 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI. As Masterson looking for a 1-2-3 inning, but for UNLV is they did, more importantly, with a series like this, obviously we'd love to get a sweep. But realistically, if you say you take 2 out of 3, you're going to be very happy with what you were able to accomplish. And it puts a lot of pressure on Fresno State for their final 2 series of the year. And for UNLV, obviously with 1 left, they just got to take care of business against UNR. Albeit, though, in-state rivals, that's not going to be an easy series for UNLV. We talked about it for Fresno State. They don't got easy matchups against Boise State and San Diego State. Well, that UNR series for the Rebels, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a fight for both teams as they want to have bragging rights, and also for the Silver State series to try to the bragging rights for both athletic programs to say who is better between the two. UNLV has absolutely dominated it since its inception, I believe in 2012, but obviously the major trophy is the Fremont Cannon, and obviously the Wolfpack have it right now. The 2-1 pitch is going to be sent to first. Mia Trejo has it, and she'll step her foot on the bag. 3 unassisted, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Charlie Masterson. Quick work there for the senior from Boulder City, Nevada. UNLV will have 1, 2, and 3 hitters due up in the bottom of the 5th, trying to get something going as they trail it 5-1 here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Back here live at Eller Media Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Topcheck on the call. Maddie Schmidt up to bat here for the Rebels. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, she'll take the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 is the count as Hayley Dulcini still back out there for another inning of work. And she is really starting to find her groove. 4 innings. She's given up 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts in 82 pitches. Or actually, make that 84. As Schmidt up to bat here. Maddie is 0 for 2 so far today. We would love to find a way to get her on the base paths wherever it could be. A base hit by pitch, a walks, whatever it could be. They want to get some discomfort out there for Dulcini and this defense for Fresno State. The count is 2-1. And kind of going over it here as we approach the back end of this season. Obviously, this is a big series between both teams, and UNLV really was kind of in that kind of must-win situation. Well, you could say both teams were kind of in must-win, but with the count 3-1, say if the score ends the way it is today, if UNLV goes 3-0 against UNR, the best that Fresno State, obviously if they go 6-0 against both teams, then they're going to be the Mount West champions because they will have 1 less loss than UNLV. But say UNLV sweeps the Wolfpack and then Fresno State, they go 5-1 against Boise State and San Diego State, then we'll have a tie. We'll have co-champions, but UNLV, I believe, will get the automatic bid because they have the tiebreaker, winning 2 out of 3. This one will be taken down low, ball 4. So UNLV, good start here in the 5th, as Maddie Schmidt will be on the base paths, just what the doctor ordered for the Rebels. Schmidt on base percentage now will increase as it came in at .408. She's 15 of 16 on stolen base opportunities. You got to think that she's going to run here at some point in this at bat for Justine Federi. Maddie has scored 5 runs in this series. But now to go back to the kind of the situation, kind of the fun thing, you could play the what if scenarios. So now say if UNLV drops wins 2 out of 3 against the Wolfpack. And Schmidt thought about going, and the first pitch will be taken for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Then Fresno State, the worst that they can do to become co-champions, they have to go 4-2. But if they go obviously 5-1, or if they go 6-0, if they win today and they sweep San Diego State and they sweep Boise State, then it's over. They're going to be the champions, as that one will be taken for a strike yet again. 0-2. Federi hasn't swung at both pitches. Schmidt not in motion there. So it's you kind of play those what-if games. The thing that UNLV can't have happen if they don't win here today, can't have Fresno State win the next 6, as that one misses on the outside part. 1-2 is the count. And so that's a big thing there for UNLV. They got to take care of business against the Wolfpack next weekend and really put the pressure on Fresno State. And really for UNLV, obviously this is the final home series for the Rebels, is that they'll have that weekend off. That one misses outside 2-2, so they will just be sitting back and watching. And then, me and Ben Wilson had this conversation yesterday. If you have an at-large situation, I think Fresno State, say if UNLV wins the conference title, and Fresno State will probably get an at-large bid, I think, with their non-conference record and their RPI, and just I also think history as well will be put into it, as the count is 2-2. But say if UNLV finishes second, it's going to be real close for the Rebels. The non-conference, they just didn't have that real big signature win that they would have liked. I think you look back at those 2 Utah games, that could have been something that they could have really built on. But I don't think UNLV, as this one will be taken down low, Justine Federi's done a really good job battling back down 0-2 to make it 3-2. Federi, I mentioned, has hit that home run, walked in her last plate appearance, and has the potential to get a second straight walk with Schmidt over at first. But for the Rebels, back in 2019, they were one of the first 4 teams out. They don't want to kind of have to play with that fire. They want to win the championship. This one is called on the inside part of the plate, strike 3. Oh, what a pitch there by Dulcini, as the bench, the dugout for Fresno State exploded out. And Federi thought that was going to be ball 4. It was not. That is big, because instead of 2 on, nobody out, you got 1 out, and still Schmidt over there at first with Mia Trejo up to bat. Trejo is 1 for 2 on the day. She singled in her first plate appearance. And Schmidt's still not going. Not surprised here that Maddie hasn't been sent over there at second. Obviously, you've got Preston behind the plate there for the Bulldogs. She's kind of the second string catcher, as this one swung on and missed. Obviously, you want to test, and then you got Maddie Schmidt. I mean, even if you got the best catcher in the Mountain West, it's still going to be tough to get Schmidt out. As Trejo swings and misses at that one. 1-1 is the count. After the strikeout there, Federi, the 5th strikeout for Dulcini. The 1-1, and Trejo fouls this one back, and the count goes to 1-2. So Schmidt at first reached by way of the walk. 3rd walk given up by Dulcini, so a very rare occurrence there to see her give up a walk. She gave up 3 in the first game, so a lot of walks this weekend. UNLV, very patient team, overall coming in 4th in the Mountain West in walks, compared to obviously Fresno State is first at 123, but they've really made Dulcini work, but Dulcini is getting the advantage here today. As the count is 2-2, Schmidt over at first. Hayley looking for the strikeout and the pitch down low, 3-2 is the count. You got Denise Armendariz on deck for the Rebels. One out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Rebels down 5-1. The pitch, and Trejo, kind of an excuse me swing. Thankfully for her, she got a lot of elevation on it, and it hit the top of the net. So the count will still be 3-2 with Schmidt over at first. 5-1, Fresno State on top of UNLV. If you're just joining us, 3 runs in the first inning for the Bulldogs. Matson and Hernandez with a 2-run home run and a solo home run knocked Jenny Bressler out of the game. And Jenna Perez came in. Jenna gave up 2 runs in the third, as this one is a high drive into right center field. That ball is well hit, and that ball is going to die out on the warning track. Great play there by Noriega as she makes a nice catch out there in the hole, and Mia Trejo just missed out on a 2-run home run by about 5 feet, and that is a big out number 2. So Dulcini, after giving up the leadoff walk, has struck out Justine Federi and has got a long fly out by Mia Trejo, and Denise Armendariz will be up to bat. And they'll try to get some success here with 2 outs. They're 1 for 5 with 2 outs today against Dulcini, but with runners on now, they're 0 for 8. The first pitch here by Hayley is on the outside for a ball. 1-0 is the count. That's the 103rd pitch there for Dulcini, who is really, like I said, UNLV's really made her work, but she's getting the upper hand right now, and now time is called here, so we're going to have a mound visit here. Jody Cox coming out to talk with Dulcini. Schmidt at first, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. To go back on the recount, Jenna Perez came in but gave up 2 runs in the 3rd inning. She was pulled for Charlie Masterson. Masterson so far 3 innings has given up 1 hit, no run, no earn, no walks, and a strikeout. And she's really been fantastic out of the pen here today. Really fantastic over this weekend. 5 innings of work against the Bulldogs. She's only given up 1 run. It was a home run all the way back in the first inning of yesterday's game, which UNLV won 9-1. UNLV won the first game of this series 6-5. It was a back-and-forth game. The Rebels were up 5-0 going into the top of the 6th inning. Then we had a 3-run home run for the Bulldogs in the top of the 6th, and then a 2-run home run by Galvin with 2 outs in the inning, as Armendariz sends this one on a line, and it's going to land in front of Matson for a base hit. So a 2-out hit there by Denise Armendariz. Schmidt advances to second. It'll be the 4th hit for the Rebels. Another 2-out hit, their second of the ball game, and they got a little bit of fire cooking here against Dulcini with Janisa Martin up to bat. Martin has not registered a plate appearance so far here today, because she was hit by a pitch in the first plate appearance and has walked in her second plate appearance. She has not had a hit so far in this series. She has 1 for her last 19. This is a golden opportunity for her, a big spot to kind of get that confidence back up for the going into the end of this 2021 season. This one will be sent foul out of play, and the count goes now to 0-1 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Schmidt at second. Armendariz is over at first. That hit there by Denise is her 36th hit of the year. One of the best hitters in this lineup, really in conference play. She's been red hot. The 0-1 pitch taken down low. 1-1 is the count. But, you talk about that back-and-forth game we had in the first game here in Las Vegas, Nevada, between UNLV and Fresno State. The 3-run home run by Rolliter against Jenny Bressler in that 6th inning kind of made things a little bit interesting, as this one will be missed on the outside part of the plate. 2-1 is the count. And then Galvin down to the last out sent a long home run over the left field wall. But UNLV, and you give credit, I think Maddie Schmidt had the best at-bat, the most important at-bat of this series so far. She drew the leadoff walk, stole second, advanced to third on the errant throw, and came home to score. As this one is slapped foul down the third baseline. Good contact there by Martin. Just got to square it up there. And the count goes even 2-2. 2 outs here with 2 on. In the bottom of the 5th inning, 5-1. Fresno State on top. But talk about it there with Maddie over at second. She was able to advance to third. UNLV put Justine Federi was able to make it on the base pass, and then Mia Trejo came up big for her team with a line drive that got off the glove of Matson for a RBI single, and that one hits on the outside part of the plate. Martin is caught looking, so UNLV, a real good opportunity to get some runs across the board. They got 2 runners on, but Dulcini puts up another 0 spot as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Bulldogs leading it 5-1 here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Top of the sixth inning here at Eller Media Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Game 3 of this three-game set between UNLV and Fresno State. The Bulldogs get a big sigh of relief there in the bottom of the fifth inning. Rebels got Maddie Schmidt on leadoff walk. Denise Armendariz with a two-out hit, but Jasmine Martin is caught looking on strikes. And another 0 put up by Hayley Dulcini and this Fresno State team as the count now is 2-0. As Denby up to bat here for the Bulldogs. Denby is 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Got one change defensively for UNLV. Martin is replaced for Jacqueline Candelas, who's out in right. Candelas, one of the 4 seniors that will be honored after this game. And as that one hits on the inside part of the plate, 2-1 is the count. Don't know if it was kind of planned to have Jacqueline play there at the bottom of the inning or if that had anything to do with kind of Martin getting caught looking on strikes. And Martin's really had struggled, mightily at the plate. As this one is going to be sent to third. Nice play there by Barker. Going to her left. The throw to first is in time for out number 1. 5-3 on the score sheet. Just to go back, obviously, I think maybe, you don't want to speculate, but obviously for Jasmine Martin, it's just really, this is her first major slump that she has had in her career at UNLV, albeit she's just a freshman. I mean, she started off so red hot, but now she is 1 for her last. I'm trying to look at the numbers here. 1 for her last 20. As this one is sent a mile-high pop-up. Samantha Diaz, shielding her eyes from the sun, is able to clamp it down. 1 pitch, 1 out as Bouchard goes after that first pitch. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 6th inning. So it'll be the catcher, Alexandra Preston, who will be up to bat here, wearing number 27. She is 0 for 1 with a walk. But to go back at it for Martin now, she's 1 for her last 20. And just try, we've seen some slumps for a lot of good hitters for UNLV this year. Mia Trejo had a nasty slump at one point this year. So did Justine Federi. Lauren Tixon didn't have the average where she wanted to this year. But, you notice, you just get one hit. You find a way to get on the base hit. It may go like 2-3 feet. You just kind of have to build that confidence back up, as this one will be taken for a strike. 0-2 is the count. The 0-2 here from Charlie Masterson. And the pitch is popped up into the air, and it will be sent back foul out of play. So Charlie looking for the strikeout here in another 1-2-3 inning. She has been absolutely fantastic as the 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. So Masterson, another 1-2-3 inning for the Rebels. She puts up another 0 spot on the board so far here for Charlie. 4 scoreless innings, but the Rebels got to wake up the bats here as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Rebels trailing this one 5-1. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning here at Eller Media Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomchek on the call. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in on your Sunday afternoon, wherever you were watching. We're already in May 2nd. Boy, the 2021 year is going by quickly, as it's been a warm weekend, probably the warmest weekend that UNLV has had so far this year, as we're closing in on summertime, and it's also the miserable time of the year where now you're approaching about 110-degree heat for about 3 months straight. Yeah, you don't see a cloud for about 2 months, and you get excited actually when you see a cloud. But nonetheless, still not too bad here today, as the count is 1-0 to Lauren Tixon. That one misses on the outside. 2-0 is the count here. Fresno State on top, 5-1. They scored 3 in the first, 2 in the third. UNLV got a run in the first. It looked like when Justine Federi got that solo shot on Hayley Galvin that it was going to be a back and forth game like we have seen. We saw in the first game, and really that we also thought that UNLV's offense was going to continue their hot streak that we saw yesterday when they scored 15 runs in just 12 innings of game action. But give credit to the senior for Fresno State, the ace, probably the Mountain West pitcher of the year. She has really clamped down UNLV and has done a really good job of working out of trouble. There's been a lot of base runners for UNLV, 7 so far that have been left on. They're 1 for 10 actually against Dulcini with runners on, and that came with Denise Armendariz' hit back in the bottom of the 5th inning. As Tixon goes opposite field, it's popped up into the air. It's going to go into foul territory. Matson will clamp that one down for out number 1. So as we mentioned, Tixon, Diaz, and Vollmer, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, due up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Samantha Diaz has not made contact so far today against the ace for Fresno State. She's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, and I don't think she's going to have an opportunity, as head coach Christy Fox will come out of the first base coach's box. We'll come over and talk to Rob Huff, and we're going to have a pitch hitter here. Actually, I mentioned it was Vollmer. It's going to be Alyssa Trejo who checked in for Vollmer. So the pitch hitter for UNLV looks like it is going to be number 10, Jasmine Martin, the freshman utility player. We've seen her pitch. We've seen her hit. 5'4" from Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Shadow Ridge High School in the northwest part of the valley. So Martin will get the opportunity to hit here with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jasmine in this series so far, this is her 3rd plate appearance. She is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And she sends the first pitch right back to Hayley. She'll flip it on over to first in time. Kind of the right at 'em ball there as Martin tried to get a C&I single up the middle, but Dulcini with some great reaction time and is able to flip it on over to first for out number 2. So Alyssa Trejo was going to be due up in this part of the lineup for Julia Vollmer, but Christy Fox going over to talk to Rob Huff yet again, and we're going to get another pitch hitter here for the Rebels after Martin grounds out on the first pitch. And it's going to be the freshman from California, Alyssa Lopez from Poway, California. Poway, California. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Obviously, there's so many. I was telling Ben Wilson yesterday, who was on the broadcast with us, when every game that I do, whether sport it may be, obviously doing it on the West Coast, you learn of a new city in California. I swear, there's every time I do notes, I'm like, well, I've never heard of this city before. My favorite, though, in California is Knights Landing. That one, by far, is number 1. As the count is 1-0, Dulcini against Lopez here, trying to put up another 0 spot for the Bulldogs, as she's really found her groove. After UNLV, it was a big surprise to see her get hit around as hard as she did in the first game, and UNLV knocked her out after 4 innings. That was a big time win for UNLV to be able to get that first one, and then just kept that momentum going into game number 2, as this one will be taken for a strike. 2-1 is the count here to Lopez. So Lopez will be the second pitch hitter in this inning. Kind of her stat line here, she is 4 for 28. The average is at 143, so she's just trying to get a little bit of momentum going. Obviously, the tough thing for probably every coach this year, the spring coaches, obviously, and you'll see it next year with all the fall and winter sports, is that you recruited all these players that come in with the thought of, well, I'm recruiting them because obviously I've got this senior at this position who's going to be gone, and then obviously with everyone getting a year back, you have a backlog. So it's a lot of people are going to have to sit and wait and kind of bide their time, and it's not a lot of opportunities that they thought that they were going to have. But then obviously they look at the brighter picture and say, well, hey, next year that person's not going to be here. I've already had a year of experience. I get that opportunity to be maybe a potentially everyday player. As this one will be popped up foul out of play. Count still 3-2 now. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-1 Fresno State on top of UNLV here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The 3-2 pitch, and Lopez fouls it back yet again. UNLV 4 hits so far in this ball game. Justine Federi, Mia Trejo, and Denise Armendariz, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, have 1 each. As this one is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Hayley Galvin gets another strikeout here. That's her 7th of the ball game, and she puts up another 0 spot on the board. We go to the top of the 7th inning here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Last chance for Fresno State to get some insurance runs as they lead it 5-1. Top of the 7th here at Eller Media Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomczyk on the call. Greatly appreciate everyone tuning in on your Sunday afternoon, wherever you are watching. Fresno State leading at 5-1 here over the Rebels. They haven't scored since Charlie Masterson. Well, technically, Charlie Masterson did not give up a run, but they haven't scored since the 4th inning. Jenna Perez put on 2 runners in the 3rd inning. Masterson came on with 2 on, runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. She gave up an RBI ground out and an RBI hit. But since then, Masterson has just been absolutely phenomenal as the 0-1 pitch is going to be taken down low. 1-1 is the count to Caitlyn Jennings. Jennings is 0 for 3 on the day, but reached on an error in her last plate appearance. The error was on Justine Federi, and she later stole a base but was stranded. 1-1 here from Charlie. Is going to be taken down low. 2-1 is the count. So we'll see here for Fresno State in the bottom of the 7th inning. Galvin has pitched 124 pitches through 6 innings, 75 strikes. She's been throwing a lot of pitches. She threw 91 yesterday. 5-1 is the score. I think if she runs into maybe a little bit of trouble, that we could potentially see a relief pitcher for the Bulldogs. And also wouldn't be surprised if there's another relief pitcher to start the 7th inning. Quite honest. As one change here for UNLV, they've got Julia Vollmer back into the ball game. Alyssa Trejo had a couple innings there behind the plate, but Vollmer back in. She started the ball game off. As the count is 2-2 here to Jennings, it will be the 1, 2, and 3 hitters here in the top of the 7th inning. Jennings, Galvin, and Matson. Masterson looking for the strikeout on the outside part of the plate, but too far outside. 3-2 is the count. Fresno State 30-9, 14-3 in conference play. UNLV 25-11, 17-3 in conference play. But those 3 wins for UNLV are added with the San Jose State series, the forfeit wins. As that one is going to be taken down low, ball 4. So Masterson will give up the walk there, and a rare walk there for Charlie. She doesn't give up a lot of them in her throughout her 2021 season. Jennings, last time we saw her on the base pass, she successfully stole a base, so you got to be wary of that if you're UNLV, as now Coming up to bat here will be Hayley Galvin. Galvin is 0 for 3 on the day, but did score a run in the first inning off of the 2-run home run by Matson, and she reached on an error by Samantha Diaz. Masterson is set, and the first pitch will be taken down low for a ball. 1-0 is the count. This right here is a must-win for Fresno State. They don't want to put themselves in a bad spot to where they, obviously they're going to have to root for UNR, but there would be technically one game behind UNLV in the loss column. As Masterson is set the 1-0 pitch. He is taken for a strike. 1-1 is the count. If they win here today, they'll be back up to first technically because they will have one less loss than UNLV. So for Fresno State, they have to, if they want to win, obviously for them, if they win out, they're going to be Mountain West champions. But it's going to be tough against Boise State and San Diego State, two talented teams that are going to give Fresno State a run for their money, as that one is out of play. The count's still 1-2. For UNLV, obviously for them, they would have loved to win here today because then you kind of get a game, if you drop a game against UNR, but you win 2 out of 3, you're still probably in the driver's seat for the championship, as this one misses on the outside part of the plate. 2-2 is the count. So you're going to get a lot of scoreboard watching this next couple weekends. And for Fresno State, for UNLV, the big thing, if they can get a sweep against UNR, they are feeling pretty confident about themselves. They probably don't want to have to lose a game, as there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Masterson gets a strikeout there on Galvin after giving up the leadoff walk. And you look at the 3 losses for UNLV, and 3 kind of wacky losses for the Rebels. Their first loss to San Diego State, they came back and tied that game up before losing in extra innings. And then against Colorado State last weekend on Sunday, they were down 4-0, tied it up, went down again, then were able to get the win, as there's a grounder to short. Samantha Diaz going to her right is able to get the force out at second. Nice play, a very close play as they get the speedster Jennings out. That is a very high risk but high reward play, and it works out there between Diaz and Federi. So 2 outs in the inning as Matson is able to reach first. Matson, who has been a very, very big thorn in UNLV's side now, overall 2 for 4, but with that 2-run home run she hit, really right now technically is the game-winning hit for the Bulldogs, as that will be taken for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Vanessa Hernandez up to bat. Hernandez is 1 for 2, also hit a home run that knocked Jenny Bressler out of the game. But you look at it for UNLV, 2 of their 3 losses, they've had to play catch-up. They've been able to tie the game, but they've lost it in walk-off fashion. There's a high drive to left field. That ball is well hit, going back, and it's going to die out on the warning track as the wind, it's blowing in. Don't know if it had much effect on it as Hernandez gave it a ride, but that will end the inning as Masterson is able to put up another 0 spot on the board. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Last chance for the Rebels here as they trail it 5-1. Last chance here for the Rebels in the bottom of the 7th inning here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomczyk on the call. We greatly appreciate everyone tuning in on your Sunday afternoon, wherever you are watching here on the YouTube channel, provided to us by UNLV Athletics. Back out for another inning of work is Haley Dulcini, and she will send the first pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 is the count to Lauren Barker. Barker is 1 for 2. She has one of the 4 hits for UNLV, and it was a triple. It was a weird triple. The wind was really blowing in as Barker sends a high chopper over to second. Off balance, throw to first in time. Nice play there by Rolliter, who had a crash in and throwing it off of her back foot. Gets Barker out as Lauren swinging at the second pitch of the inning. And UNLV now down to their final 2 outs here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that will bring up Maddie Schmidt. Schmidt reached on her last plate appearance, a walk. She's 0 for 2 overall. I mentioned for Barker that weird triple that she had with the wind blowing in. Madsen had to travel a long way, tried to make a diving attempt, but it squirted out of her glove. But, UNLV's getting runners on. They've left 7 on the base paths, but they are just 1 for 10 against Hayley today, the senior ace for Fresno State. As the next pitch is going to hit on the outside for a strike. 1-1 is the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 5-1 is the score. Fresno State, they scored 3 in the first, and they haven't looked back since. Added 2 in the third. UNLV's only run came off of a home run by Justine Federi in the bottom of the first inning. The 1-1 pitch, it's on the outside part of the plate. 1-2 is the count. Schmidt, the sophomore from Yorba Linda, California. She was great last year in the 26 games that UNLV played, and so far this year has picked up right where she left off. She's going to be in that number 1 spot for her tenure here at UNLV, and that's why opposite field hit that goes into left field. Schmidt has her first hit of the ballgame, the 5th hit for UNLV. They get a runner on here with 1 out for Justine Federi. Federi is 1 for 2. That solo shot we mentioned that she had in the first innings. Reached on a walk, but struck out her last plate appearance, and probably, I think, was one of the more crucial sequences we had in this game, as Federi was really trying to work for her second walk. Maddie Schmidt had walked in the previous plate appearance. The count was 3-2. It was a close play on the inside part of the plate, but Fresno State was able to get the call, and Federi was struck out because that was called a ball. Now you get 2 on with nobody out, and you kind of get a little bit of momentum going for UNLV as they were trying to chip away at that time. I believe that was in the bottom of the 5th inning. As the 1-0 pitch will be taken high for a strike. 1-1 is the count. So that was a big pitch there by the senior ace for Fresno State, Hayley Dulcini, and it really put UNLV, just kind of deflated at their momentum after Schmidt was able to get on the base paths, as that will be taken outside for a ball. 2-1 is the count. So we mentioned now Schmidt, now back-to-back times she's reached on the base paths, but hasn't been put in motion yet. She's 15 of 16 on stolen base opportunities. Federi with a 2-1 count here. Hitters count for the senior from Chula Vista, California, now make it 3-1. 5'2", the super senior. A great career here at UNLV for Justine Federi, who, is a solid player, got better as the years come, and, I was glad to see her being able to get an opportunity to go out on her terms, and obviously with the shortened season last year, and then obviously non-conference play where she struggled mightily. And to be able to get back in conference play and hit to what we saw over the last few years, glad to see that there for Justine, as the count now is 3-2. Schmidt at first. And the pitch is going to be sent to second. The throw to second gets one. The throw to first in time. It is a 4-6-3 double play. Roller to Denby to Hernandez, and that will end the ball game here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Fresno State gets a very, very important win here today as they try to keep their hopes alive for the first seed in the for the number 1 seed in the Mountain West in the regular season championship. Don't worry about the seeds. There's no conference tournament. This was a battle to win the Mountain West Conference regular season championship. UNLV, though, very productive weekend, but Fresno State, with this win, go back to number 1. They improve to 31-9 on the year, 15-3 in conference play, while the Rebels fall to 25-12, 17-4 in conference play. as Fresno State wins it 5-1. But still, a very productive weekend here for UNLV as they take 2 out of 3 and make this race very tight as we go over the final 2 weekends of the regular season for UNLV and for Fresno State. We mentioned for the Bulldogs, they'll be facing Boise State and San Diego State in the next 2 weekends. The Boise State series will be at home. The San Diego State series will be on the road. UNLV, this is their final home game of the year. They will be on the road next weekend. Big matchup against the in-state rivals up north from Reno, Nevada, the UNR Wolfpack, and that's going to be big for UNLV. They cannot falter in that series if they want to have a chance to be the regular season champions. But for Fresno State, right now, they kind of got a little bit breathing room. If they go 6-0, they will be the champions. But if they 5-1 and UNLV goes 3-0, then UNLV and Fresno State tie, but UNLV has a tiebreaker. But then if UNLV loses one game and Fresno State loses one game, it balances out to where Fresno State is still will still be the regular season champion. So you got a lot of what-if scenarios coming down for the final 2 games, final 2 series of the year in the Mountain West 2021 season, in the spring season. But final score here, 5-1. Kind of give the player of the game is going to be Hayley Dulcini. She went 7 innings of work. She picks up the win. She goes to 18-3 on the year. She had 136 pitches, 5 hits given up, 1 run, 1 earned, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts in the 29 batters that she faced. Jenny Bressler picks up the loss. She falls to 15-6 on the year. She went just a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, and 2 earned. Charlie Masterson did a good job out of the pen. 5 innings of work. She gave up 1 hit, no runs, no earned, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. For Jenna Perez, also came out in relief work. She went an inning and 2/3. Gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. The hot hitters today for Fresno State, Matson had a home run, and Hernandez had a home run. Matson with 2 RBIs, Hernandez with 1. Noriega and Rollader also had an RBI as well. So the final score here, Fresno State wins it 5-1. They improve to 31-9 on the year, 15-3 in conference play. UNLV falls to 26-12. 17-4 in conference play. But this will be our final broadcast of the year here from Eller Media Stadium, and just want to take the time and say thank you to everyone who has tuned in this year. It is always a pleasure for me to be calling the UNLV softball games here at Eller Media Stadium. Always have a special place in my heart. It was the first ever sports broadcasting job that I had back in my senior year of college. It's kind of an internship, and I've grown to love this UNLV team, and just to see their growth, and they have a really, really good chance. It's a really good team, and hopefully for them that the stars will align, that they can have an opportunity to be Mountain West regular season champions and get an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in for all of our broadcasts this year. Obviously, I want to thank everyone that's helped out, the SIDs, the support staff, everybody, the cameraman, TV productions, all that. Can't do it without them. I appreciate everyone and all their hard work, and appreciate everyone tuning in here today, as this is the final game of the 2021 season here at home at Eller Media Stadium. As UNLV will also honor 4 great seniors: Jacqueline Candelas, Justine Federi, Charlie Masterson, and Lauren Tixon. I'm Wyatt Tomczyk signing off here from Las Vegas, Nevada. Greatly appreciate everyone tuning in here today and for all the games of the 2021 season. We wish everyone a very pleasant rest of your Sunday afternoon here from Las Vegas, Nevada, where Fresno State beats UNLV 5-1 here in Sin City. Wish everyone a very pleasant rest of your Sunday afternoon.